mean, you don't have to read all this. I just said the cast characters and then episode synopsises.
Synopsises. I don't know how to read.
I mean, I wasn't just gonna laugh in case he's pulling my leg. I'm not that sensitive. It's not even funny, dude.
That was so funny. She didn't. I mean, you can see in her face. She did not know what to fucking say. She was like, "Holy shit! Is he serious?"
Whatever, Joe.
That was great.
Making money look fly away, but there's gotta be a better way, better way, better way.
I'm drawing a rose and I'm going to call it a tulip and see if it smells any different.
It does.
A rose by any other
Somehow.
name would smell just as sweet.
Is that one of the ones?
I'm trying to
that
prove it.
Is it a scratch
I don't
and
think it
sniff?
is, no.
Scratch it first.
Wait.
Okay, so we're officially here with our lovely friends again.
Sorry.
What happened?
I interrupted you.
We just had this conversation about Kara interrupting me.
I'm gonna be quiet.
So I'm going to say something, and then Kara's going to say the exact same thing as if it was brand new information. Okay? So we're back with Joe. And
all them.
Mole, mole, mole. And if you'll notice, we have a Star Trek shirt. Plain shirt, because we're not talking about Star Trek. Star Wars. And another Star Trek shirt.
You're the
I can
oddball.
wear what the hell I want to wear.
I wasn't going to berate you.
I know, I'm just defending.
Okay.
Defensive today, Joe.
But we are here to talk about the Orville with our lovely friends again. And Joe, listen, look what he did. Isn't that awesome?
So beautiful.
Printers.
He was going to paint it with paint.
But I didn't.
This looks just as good.
There's a private joke there that we won't disclose.
It's not a joke. It's just I asked a stupid question.
Well, then when I found out about it,
That was right. She did. It was funny.
when I found
You
out,
should have been there.
yeah, when I found out about it, I mentioned fecal matter. Like, what was he going to paint it with fecal matter and not paint? It was quite hilarious, actually.
You would have had to been there for
The blood of his enemies.
Yeah, Molly's was better. The blood of my enemies.
Feces.
Who are the blood of my enemies? Who would you choose?
But actually, Joe's a very normal person. He paints with paint. Come to find out.
No, it's really the blood of my enemies. And occasionally poo,
Alrighty then.
but only at Christmas.
Special occasions.
Someday at Christmas,
I paint with
I'll
poo.
use my poo. Someday at Christmas. There you go. Fart on you this time.
Ha! You got poo fart.
This has devolved
Ew.
so quickly.
Yes.
We are not.
We're already talking about poo.
Yeah,
We
we
really are this gross in real
We
life.
digress. This is what we do.
5 minutes in and we're talking.
Bunch.
So the Orville. Have you seen it?
Have you?
I've seen it. Have you?
I have.
Your turn
The
back
end.
there.
Oh, I already
Yes.
have.
Oh,
Yeah, I didn't know.
Sorry,
I was like,
sorry.
I'm just
We saw it. It was great. Bye.
We loved it. See you next time.
800,000 views.
Check it out. Oh,
I'm
someone's
there.
playing footsie with me.
I'm playing knee with her.
Oh, sorry. This
Stretched
is
my leg out.
Diane's got a
Should I go
proper
in the
knee.
room?
Sorry, I had to pop my knee.
Hashtag old folks.
Which is actually kind of funny because last night we went and saw the new Star Wars movie.
Really good.
And, you know, the theater's full, so nobody, you know, I can't put my feet on the seat in front of me, and I have to pop my knees every once in a while. And so randomly in the movie, I lift up and kick out real quick right over the dude's head. And this way, and Molly's like, what are you doing? Popping your knee, Grandma?
My luck, the person would have stood up right as my leg was going over
I was
his
so
head.
scared of him, but it just, you know, it hits my heel in the back of his head, and anyway,
Knocks his ass out.
knee popping fun at Star Wars.
Now my knee's
What
hurting.
about you? What are your overall impressions?
It's a strong first season because it really followed a lot of the tropes that you've seen in original first seasons of like even like a lot of sci-fi TV shows. You know, you got the first episode that they're like, oh, this is all the different people and this is the kind of things that they're into, and you know, kind of has and then it evolves. Like each episode is a character development on each of the different. They always do that in every real good science fiction beginnings I've ever seen. Is that they develop a character for each episode, and if a character doesn't get development episodes, it means they're boring.
And most likely not to return the next season.
Yeah.
That's true.
Well, we kind of have already seen that because they phased out the chief engineer when Lamar kind of stepped into that position and got hired.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Which, since we're talking about that, and we talked about this on another video, but it made me think about Geordi when Geordi got promoted, the head of engineering, and
That's
it was
true.
it was him and Data
Navigator.
at the front, and it was Lamar and I want to call him O'Malley, but that's not his
Malley.
name. What is his name?
I have no idea.
Are you talking about the
Chief engineer?
The chief engineer.
The redhead, Malloy. I always want to
Malloy.
call him O'Malley.
I mean, that's
We've got
just
Aristocats on the brain.
Just because he's kind of a little, Irish. Jeez. This one.
Stereotype much?
Oh my god.
He's O'Malley. What is his real name now? I've forgotten.
Is it Simon Pegg? No,
That's
the guy in Star Trek.
I've already forgotten this guy's name. What's his real name?
Are you talking about
Malloy. There we go.
Scott Grimes
I had already
plays
forgotten Scott
Malloy.
Grimes. You
Yeah.
remember Scott Grimes, right? Internet.
Somewhere out there, they know.
You know. I'm glad you know that.
What do you know him from?
Nothing else ever.
He's done. I looked him up today.
What's his
He's
name?
done stuff in Family Guy and American Dad, but he was also in ER for a whole bunch of episodes.
ER? I never watched
Which I
that.
found to be kind of
I watched
interesting.
ER, I don't remember him.
Maybe he was taller.
I wonder.
Maybe.
I remember the redheaded doctor in ER with the cane.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's been such a long time.
I was a woman, yeah,
I don't know. But anyway, I thought that was cool seeing that parallel between Lamar and Geordi.
It's true. That was. You know what? Until this exact moment, I never compared the two.
Really?
In my mind, I was like, wow, that went whoosh, right over there.
Just one of the nods to Star Trek. There's a bunch of them in this show.
There's some great ones.
So, when did you first find out about they were doing a show like this? Because I found out. I found out about it right before it aired.
No,
I found out from you
month.
guys.
I found out about a year and a half ago when they first came out the first trailer. Because
Okay,
it just popped up. It was it was in November that they put this first trailer popped last
Like
November.
a year ago?
Yeah, it was right after the last election, and I was just really depressed, and things were not going good for me, Joe. And all of a sudden there was this, so I heard Star Trek's finally gonna come out. It was supposed to come out in January.
Right.
But it didn't, they pushed it back, and I was like, well, crap, now I'm never going to see this show.
Right.
And then all of a sudden there was this trailer all over Facebook. And, I was so happy. I literally, jumped for joy. I was just like, yeah, well, inside. I don't really actually jump for joy. That's lame. But inside, the little person that lives inside me, that runs around and, works all the little knobs and stuff, he was jumping like, woohoo!
I was really excited for it because I like Seth MacFarlane a lot. I like his sense of humor.
Yeah.
The crudeness appeals to me.
Well, you were the person, when I met you 10 years ago, you introduced me to Family Guy.
Yeah.
So I had never seen any of his work until I met you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Million Ways to Die in the West. That was
good.
That really
I haven't seen that yet.
brought
I
me
liked,
him seeing his face more.
Yeah.
I've seen him here and there on some stuff, but I never really saw him a lot until that movie. And that movie was so good.
I thought it was going to be stupid, but it was actually very good.
it was, and that episode. I think it's actually episode 2 of the Orville. They're in the holodeck, whatever they call their holodeck.
they're, riding
and
the
they
horse and shit.
and they come up to the they're gonna have a shootout, but Malloy had changed the program to a dance competition.
I can do all of the kinds of dances.
And funnily enough, a Cyndi Lauper song starts playing.
That's true.
And he starts dancing. But when I was rewatching these, I saw that one the other day, and it made me think about his How to Live and Die in the West.
That was such.
So you said that was the second episode? Is that the one where Ed and
Or was
Kelly?
it the third episode? Is it? Might be
Ed
the
and
third.
Kelly. Yeah, I think it's the
No,
third
Ed and
episode.
Kelly was when they were in a replica of their former home, like that zoo exhibit.
Yeah, that's
That
the
was
second
2,
episode.
yeah.
Command
It was
Performance.
3 because Bortis.
About a girl.
Yeah. because Bortus burst in. And
Gotcha.
I will fix you immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, something that I found out that was interesting to me when I was researching today, the second episode, Robert Duncan McNeil directed it. Y'all recognize that name?
Yeah, but who is that?
He played Paris in Voyager.
Oh!
Yeah.
I did not know he was a director as well.
Yes. He directed that second episode when they were in the
Good
zoo.
for you, Tom.
Way to go,
Or
Mr.
Robert.
Paris.
You're doing so good. I'm glad
Did
you're
you
out of
not
prison.
like Paris?
He was okay.
I hate that he said groovy.
Groovy.
Oh, it so annoyed me so bad in that episode.
I liked it. One of my favorite episodes with him was the one where they went back to Earth in the 90s.
That's the one I'm talking
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
Where he said groovy to her, and I was like, don't. Just anything but groovy.
I think that's one of my favorite Voyager
Yeah, well, you can
episodes.
say it that way. That's cool. He just said it like cool. And he's like groovy. I'm like, oh.
Like he was trying too hard.
Yeah, way too hard.
Yeah, and he was obsessed with those old black and white science fiction movies.
Mm-hmm.
Now I did
Chaotica.
Now I did like the episode where Captain Janeway.
Oh yeah,
She was
she was awesome.
Oh yeah.
Got that character on timelines too.
What? Now see, now look. Alright, I was saving my dilithium up every day, and the day before I had enough to make a spin when they had that special, those few characters, they took it away. And it pissed me off.
Damn you!
It's the only character I've ever been like, oh my god, I really want that one.
Whenever if they ever allow us to give characters to people on that, that'll never happen. But if they do it, it's yours.
Well, thank you.
I'll give you mine.
They
Like Pokemon training.
She just got good news this week about
yeah,
the
they
game.
just put it on the Amazon App Store.
You can play it on Kindle.
Because I dropped my computer, my laptop, a couple weeks ago and broke it, so I haven't been able to play Timelines actually for like a month.
That's
So I can get it on my Kindle now.
Nice.
So I'll be doing that.
It was I logged in this morning. I didn't log in yesterday, and I read the server update, and I was like, oh, I got screenshot, sending it to D, circling it.
Nice. Well, I'm glad you can Kindle it.
Yeah, me too. I've been kind of fiending for it.
I feel like I should pull mine out and start playing it for a few minutes. Well, you got talk amongst yourselves.
No,
It's timeline time.
Resist the urge.
I'm trying.
Well, since we're talking about my adverse reaction to Tom Paris, does anybody have a character they don't really like?
In the Orville?
Yeah.
In the Orville?
Or maybe not necessarily that you don't like, but one that you're like, oh god, I can't wait for their scene to be over and get to somebody
The
else.
Yaffet scene sometimes get on my nerves.
Yeah.
Now, I'm a huge Norm Macdonald fan.
Yeah, see, I like Yaffet. Did
I
y'all ever
love-
see the Norm Macdonald show?
So good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good. He's just everything he does is like a.
And he's
Right.
one of the Colonel Sanders now. You know, they have
That's-
3 or 4 rotating Colonel Sanders.
That's true.
And
He
he's Colonel
was
Sanders.
the best.
What?
Yeah, on the $5 five. Yeah.
I hate
Yeah.
all of those commercials.
So do I. But I only see them in passing at other people's houses because commercials don't exist in my world.
No, commercials suck.
I hate the new Slim Jim commercials. Those
Oh.
get on my, those get on my nerves.
I haven't seen
Is
those.
that what the little dude with the crazy hat looks like he's from Static X?
I haven't seen that one. Oh, the little guy?
Little tiny guy?
Yeah, it's that guy. But I keep seeing like these medieval ones, and then there's like a robbery
I'm sorry,
heist.
but medievals. That sounds. I love medieval stuff.
It's not that good.
I mean, even if it's bad, it's still somehow good. Everything bad is good. Everything good, nah.
Yeah. Molly, do you have a least favorite?
I don't think I do. I think at first I really didn't like Alara, but then the more like I watched the episodes and learned about her character development and stuff,
Yeah.
she seemed more likable. So
I mean,
She's green. I think that's the only thing that irritated me about her. But she's supposed to be. I mean, she's young. She's she's on the bridge. She's a senior officer. That's the word I'm looking for.
she's the youngest senior officer I've ever seen. But of the one
Well,
season.
I'm still trying, I still feel like that other characters will kind of become my favorite characters as we see next season. I mean, I like Kelly simply for the fact that I feel that she's gotten the raw end of the deal as far as her marriage was concerned. And it kind of bugs me the way that everybody just rags on her for it.
Well, now that they found out about Derulio and his,
Pheromones.
his
Sex bot.
love blue juice.
Love blue
You know.
juice. That's a good way of putting it. It's his love blue. It's blue love juice. Yeah, we'll go with that one.
Blue love juice.
Blue love juice, yeah.
Mm-mm-mm.
That blue emotion lotion.
God bless America.
Emotion.
And that I love. Where you can say anything the fuck you want.
Hello, America.
Well, we
How
can
are
for
you?
now.
Least favorite character on that show so far right now, honestly, is Mercer himself. He's not my. He's kind of
Vanilla.
Yeah, out of all the craziness that's going around him, he's just like
Your atypical
it's like
captain.
okay,
But I mean, y'all said the same thing about Michael for Discovery.
that's true.
Yeah. Y'all weren't too impressed with her
I forgot
yet.
about that. So maybe that's just because the number one guy is just not as it's not as cool. You gotta like hang out with the sidebars.
I liked him more in that episode where he had a thing for Derulio and had him in the bed.
That was
like,
that was sexy as fuck.
he did like a kind of one of those like, get your tot ass back here.
Right.
I was like, oh, so what? This got interesting.
That was beautiful. Thank you, Rob Lowe, for that.
So, did you guys have a favorite episode?
I mean, about a girl.
That was a
Okay.
good one.
That was a good one. I really enjoyed the last one. I don't know, rewatching them all, I re-loved them again.
Yeah, it's true. You do
Yeah.
gain like special love in your heart for each episode, definitely.
And the episode where Lamar got promoted,
That was a good one.
I noticed when I was rewatching it, when Mercer was introducing himself to everyone, he says to John, Lamar, he says, because he's the helmsman, right? But he says, I noticed in your file you're a level 8 pilot. And he's like, our last captain Liz have soda. And so, because, and then further down the road we find out that he's...
Genius, apparently?
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically,
Right.
he's underplayed it all these years. I don't know, I just think it's cool, the continuity of it, the way they... Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, there's definitely...
They know who these characters are, and they're keeping it moving instead of, oh well, that didn't work. Let's change it up.
I do.
But it's kind of interesting to me because the man who plays John Moore, he actually moved to LA, lived in his car, only had $200 in his pocket, and one of his very first jobs was the receptionist at Family Guy Studios. And so they would be in there recording, and Seth would come out of the film room just to kind of take a break from everything, and they would just sit there and have normal, everyday conversations. And they became friends.
Oh.
And then he started working and doing voices for Family Guy and all them. And then now he's on the show.
They're passing notes. They don't want to say that out loud.
Can you talk louder, Kara? I didn't want to interrupt. I was trying to be discreet. God damn it!
I wasn't allowing that.
Well, Kara's I know. I'm gonna give her water.
So you guys play dice? Or,
It's like shooting dice.
yeah, you want to shoot some dice?
Let's do it.
Am I not talking loud enough for you?
She's remembering.
I just got a flash of a Grey Poupon commercial. That man coming up in the limo. Pardon me,
Do you have a Grey Poupon?
Why, yes, I do.
Only the finest mustard.
Yeah, sorry. It's just, oh my god.
I love grape.
Do you ever?
We're not accomplishing shit.
It's funny though.
Can we please make that our tagline? We're not accomplishing shit.
Hip check. Yeah, we're not
We
accomplishing shit.
Biggest
Track 2000.
procrastinators on the planet.
Yeah.
So what's your least favorite episode?
I've not
gotta get
had
mine.
one yet. Well, no, I've not had one yet. Do I have to choose one?
No.
Yeah, I liked every one of them.
I don't really have a least favorite episode. It's just like I said, everybody ragging on Kelly for cheating on him. and the whole jar of pickles thing, but they stopped doing that.
They did.
Yeah.
No, actually, after we mentioned that on the Hip Trek episode, we heard it no more.
I'm glad that we've influenced them.
Yeah.
Well, as far as favorite episodes, I know we talked a little bit about it earlier. I like the episodes that kind of had the religious undertones. The last one especially because of Kelly.
Yeah.
And then the other
The
one,
Stars one where they're like, it's like a universe, but they don't know that
they're
they're
a
in space.
ship. Yeah, they're a
Yeah.
ship, and they didn't realize
yeah,
that they
yeah.
were, and they had been so many millennia that they're
Worshipping that
They had
dude.
forgotten that they were on a ship. Yeah.
Or how to use
Oh, yeah,
technology.
Liam Neeson.
I mean, where did all
Yeah,
the
that was-
technology go?
And
Well,
Liam
it is.
Neeson was in that episode.
That I love him.
Yeah, and the one where they got shrunk.
Into two-dimensional space.
No, that was the animated episode of Star Trek. They got, or the Orville got shrunk, right?
They got folded.
No.
They got folded.
Who got flat? See,
The Orville.
those two episodes that
The Orville got
we
flat.
watched-
Star Trek got tiny, right?
Yeah. Star
Okay,
Trek
yeah,
shrunk down.
sorry.
Orville went to
Hi.
2D space.
Yeah,
How dare you!
it went into a really cool, like, new wave techno dance video where it was flying around all these really wicked sounds and all these,
Those colors and all
colors
that.
and stuff. Man.
Yeah.
No, it's slower than that. It's more like Stranger Things. So that's kind of that new wave.
Are we raving?
But still, there is the rave.
I don't know how to do that.
Take us back to that beat.
Book us for your next party.
Get with it.
I'm not participating. I'm being a. I want to be Hooper Humphrey.
Woo, I don't know. Woo, got a little spittage there.
Sorry, got spit all over my.
I mean, when you
Shelf.
oomph enough, it's gonna happen.
Y'all are so weird. But I love all of you.
The cow
We
in
love
the
you,
meadow
dude.
goes moo. Cow in the meadow goes moo.
Okay, so who was your favorite guest star? Like, famous person that popped up?
I can guess everybody's here is exactly the same.
Okay, hold on. Before we do
No.
that,
We're going to say it together.
no. Everybody's gonna secretly write it down.
Okay.
Tear off, you can tear off the corner of paper.
I'm trying to remember if there were any more.
What are we talking about?
Your favorite guest star.
Favorite guest star?
Yeah. So, like, you want me to give you some choices?
Can I write down two? Can I half it?
Nope.
Nope.
What?
One guest star.
Tear your little corner off.
Tearing.
Roll it up, and put it in the hat. This is Secret Santa, who we love more than anyone else. Because I think I know.
Alright. Here we go.
I can't.
You just get as close as you can.
Okay.
Their name is very short to the point, though.
Quit trying to influence her, Joe. She can write down whoever she wants.
Okay, well, I'll just keep her character name on it.
Ooh.
We're not using that one. Who wants to do the honors?
Do I just pull one out?
Yeah, put one on, tell who it is.
Alright, everyone. Pencils down.
Rob Lowe.
Oh, imagine that!
Molly, how much did you weigh?
All right, Molly, you read one now.
Okay.
We got one for Rob Lowe. Oh, the blue princess.
Rob Lowe.
Oh, look at that,
50% of the group.
Derulio. Where's
That's
that?
it, Rob Lowe! And I got this one. Watch this one be the fuck up. Ed's mom.
I was excited to see it.
She was gonna
Let me tell you
Wait, can I
why.
guess? Can I guess? Can I guess?
You can.
I looked her up today, and she was in the L Word.
Okay. She was also in The Practice with Dylan McDermott. And Kelly, oh god, I don't forget her last name, but she was in Lie to Me. But okay, do you know who her partner in life is? Like her real life partner? Sarah, the girl who is in most of the American Horror Stories.
Sarah Paulson.
Yes,
Okay.
Sarah Paulson is
I
her
love
partner.
her.
We know that now.
Anyway, older ladies. Mm-hmm.
Thanks,
Well,
Molly.
speaking of things being
Don't
able
watch
to become reality, what episode do you think most? Well, I guess a lot of them have mirrors to our society now, but
Like what modern day problems
Well,
are
definitely.
addressed?
I think the particular point of something that really touched home the most was the last episode where they were showing television and how they were like, news channels talking about how, well, if you don't believe in Kelly or, all these sacrilegic non-Kellyers and these, all this, having to talk about it on television. That was the one that really resonated more back home than of any of this. I mean, even with the people with phones all the time and such like that one touched her, I felt that in real life more than any other scenarios that happened.
Yeah. And then it also the About a Girl that touched on transgender, different things that are going on right now and things that you see going on in the news. It's such one of those divided topics.
yeah, and then how can you judge another culture's ways by your own standards?
Yeah, that was definitely.
I mean, because it almost feels like a lose-lose situation. Whatever decision that you make.
It's still not their decision.
Exactly, yeah.
And then another thing that kind of mirrors it, the one we were talking about it earlier when, everybody has a vote up, vote down. So everything that you encounter people, they can vote up or vote down depending on your actions. And Lamar got all those down votes because of him, like, humping that statue.
Yeah.
Which is
Just
well,
being
still
a
really
dick,
funny.
just being a dick can ruin your life.
Right.
Yeah.
But just the fact that
Sometimes I
everybody's
wish that
standing there filming him and everybody's on social media like, oh, down vote, down vote, down vote, and that.
And nobody was really taking into account facts. They were just like, oh, well, everyone says that he's a bad guy, so.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they made him make the apology tour,
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. He's like, I'm not your lawyer.
yeah, and it just,
Publicist.
I mean, basically, he said, you have to sell yourself to the nation.
Right.
Yeah.
And then the way that they beat it was that Isaac just flooded their network with positive images of him.
Yeah.
And it just shows how you like flood the internet with fake news, and it could it can like sway so many big opinions of things. So let me ask you all a question. Do you think what are your favorite similarities between the Orville and Star Trek? Like, what have you noticed? I know Dee, you mentioned one earlier about Lamar and Geordi, that kind of parallel.
Sorry.
Yes.
Have you noticed anything?
Like this is like kind of like they have instead of Jeffrey tubes, they have Yafid. Did you notice that at all?
Yeah, because he can.
He can just slide through all these little bitty tiny spaces, and that's that's like his primary job, from what I can tell, is that because when they found Priya's like little device, and if you look at that space that is in, it's tiny. So he was just crawling
Squeeze in
around.
there.
He talked about he was just crawling around looking for things that need to be fixed, and I thought that was kind of cool. I mean, it was interesting because they don't have any. Do they? I wonder if they have Jeffrey's tubes, and what would they call them?
Yeah. And then also, it would also make sense as to why they wouldn't promote him, because they need him in that capacity.
That's true.
And if he's overseeing things, he wouldn't have as much time to slither around.
I mean, or they could just get some more gelatinous species of them. I'd like to see a whole little colony.
Yeah, do we know?
Maybe
Yeah,
some little
race.
baby ones or something.
Yes, he
Race
needs
there?
someone
There
of
might
his
be a
own
baby
kind.
outfit.
Goo.
Go.
Ooh, can you even imagine? Would they attempt that? I hope
No,
not.
I don't
What?
think they would attempt it.
Like a baby episode
Like
of
a
Yafet.
slime.
Oh, God,
Slime
why
human
not?
crossover.
Now, how cool
She's
would
so
it be?
pregnant. She's got to be.
How cool would it be for her sons to have another little brother or sister?
But like he's got like a head just on top of like a goo pile. Like how?
Okay. I
I'm gonna say that like straight
can see it being like Odo before he learned how to take the shape of things. You know what I mean? How Odo,
So he's just kind of like a
for a long time stayed in his
bucket.
Oh, yeah.
So you can do both? Be gelatinous and...
No, I'm not talking about being a shapeshifter. I'm talking about the way Odo wasn't able to control the way he formed himself and things like that.
Yeah, but what are the human characteristics of the goo pile going to be?
Yeah, because it would be half of
Well, I told you
her
head
DNA.
floating What if
Gooey arms.
what if it allowed like them to like, you know, because like he's mostly just a pile of goo. I know he can manipulate himself in little ways.
Yeah, because he brought those lips up.
He
to her.
could be like that. What's that guy on Enterprise? They had all the augmentations done to him.
The augments.
No, Silic. Remember his race?
Suliban.
Yeah. I mean, the whole race couldn't do that, but a lot of them had those
Weird
those
little
surgeries. Yeah, and, you know, and
squeeze
he
thing.
could slide under.
I mean, yeah, it could look like a normal person, but he could like be flattened like on cartoons.
Yeah.
Or
Look
like
at
the dude
Or
in
Like Mr.
Fantastic
Fantastic.
Four.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Or like he could be like ripped apart and things grow back like a lizard. That'd be cool.
Ooh, yeah.
I'd be into that a little bit.
Dismembrification.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that he needs to have a baby with the doctor.
But they should have a long-term committed relationship because they were. I mean, that was the hottest sex scene. Because
Because you know she was feeling it.
you know she was.
Yeah, but it
having
was essentially like the pheromones of another species. It was like a date rape drug, right?
Yeah.
But
They were both under the influence.
yeah, so they both consented under the influence,
Yeah.
and nobody was, you know, in
Trying to use that
distress.
person, yeah.
You know,
Nobody
may have
was-
sounded like she was in distress. But can you imagine? You mean, sure, you know she dreams about that shit and
I
wakes
mean-
up in, you know, a pool of her own self in the middle of the night going, oh my
God, we had
I've got to get this green blob out of my brain. Woo, Laura McDonald.
Wow. I feel like I need to go take a shower right now.
I don't. Go on. I gotta hear more about Yappin.
Filth it up.
Felt it up.
And he's already like been down Bortus's throat.
Yeah.
That was
Ooh,
after,
yeah.
yeah, that was after.
That was hot.
And that gave him a stomach ache.
You know what? He's been all up in the
Makes you
doctor.
wonder, like, is it just an esophagus that goes straight down, or is it like, you know, who knows what's going on in there?
Well, you know, they only pee once per year.
Oh, well, that's
the
gonna be
Mocklins.
awkward.
Oh, what about, we found out about the
What if they
Mocklins,
drink
the
a lot?
drink. They drank the drink that turns into a parasite inside you.
Yeah.
Oh, that was weird.
And
Yeah,
Mercer
it's
had
chocolate
like
milk.
some.
The game. The game.
Oh,
that
we're
they had.
shut up.
Oh,
That was the funniest.
He's like, we just keep doing
you
this.
won!
Hot potato. Oh! It's like what is that? The Cube or something like that. You ever watched that? You know, where you had like it was what was that? Hellraiser maybe, where they had like the cube that opened up and like
Oh, yeah.
Satan or something like with the pinhead would come out somehow.
Yeah, Hellraiser.
You remember that? And like you know, part of it like you know could hurt you like.
Or to
spikes
give you
something.
immense pleasure.
What's that?
It could give you immense
Oh,
pleasure.
that's true. That's true. I forgot about that. But still, it shot like
Rarely.
a. It was do you guys watch Stargate at all?
No.
There's an episode of Stargate where they find this weird little device that was just emanating a little bit of power, and they couldn't know what it was. So they brought it back, and they realized that it was seeping out this parasitic life form, like these tiny little bitty nanobots, basically. They were like organic nanobots. And so he was about to. They were about to like, oh god, this is bad. So we need to go take it back through the gate. But it ended up being it was a bomb. And so as they were taking it out, these things shot out of it, just like the thing that shot through his hand. And that's what it reminded me of the most was that little bomb on Stargate. But everybody was like, "Oh, you win!" It shot through his hand. That was adorable. You guys should watch Stargate. It's fun.
I love the part, you know, in that episode they sent Isaac down and they're waiting, you know.
Oh yeah, the
700 years or 11 days or whatever, and somebody says, should we play Monopoly? And Borda stands up real quick, I'll get, and then whatever the name of that game is. No. I mean, Bordas is excited as hell
That was fun! I wonder if it always goes through your hand. I mean, since they have dermal regenerators and all that stuff, I would totally be down for like way more dangerous stuff.
Oh yeah, I mean, bloody knuckles
Yeah, 'cause
all
you
day,
know-
every day.
Isaac took off what's his face's leg and he grew it
I mean,
back.
They have some
joke.
cream to make your whole leg grow.
No, he was in that machine. Remember he came to the bridge on crutches with the little dangly foot?
Yeah.
Oh, that was so cute.
Doctor chasing after him.
That reminds me of Deadpool and his little tubby hand.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was so creepy. Oh, his little foot just hanging on there.
Okay, so
So
what
are
do
you
y'all...
thinking about Deadpool masturbating with his tiny hand and his unicorn?
Oh god.